What do Darth Vader, Bucky Barnes, and Inspector Gadget all have in common? They're all owned by Disney! Cyborgs have been a staple of science fiction for over a century, and personally, growing up, I always thought they were hella cool. I think it's because one of my biggest fears as a child was losing a hand. Ever since I saw this scene here and knew parts of my body could be permanently removed, I was horrified. While other kids were sitting there scared of make-believe ghosties, I was sitting there thinking, how am I supposed to play Pokemon without a hand? Or do those undisclosed things in the bathroom? Naturally, losing a limb comes with a huge loss of functionality, and I think that's why these fictional cyborgs always stood out to me. Not only could they do everything a regular human could do, but they could also do things like this. And this. But my absolute favorite was this guy from Treasure Planet. I used to watch the shit out of this movie, and growing up, this guy was seriously badass. In this intro scene alone, the guy's arm turns into like 10 different things, and I always wanted some shit like that. So today we're gonna dive into the world of prosthetics and see what modern science has to offer in the unlikely event that I lose my... Shit! Don't worry, son. We got a state-of-the-art prosthetic for you. Son of a bitch! The first prosthetic found by archaeologists is a 5,000-year-old prosthetic eye found in present-day Iran. That definitely provided no functionality whatsoever, but looked drippy as fuck because the whole thing was encased in a thin layer of gold. And throughout the centuries, very crude prosthetics begin to emerge, mostly to allow disabled warriors to continue murdering one another. Like this Italian man from the 6th century whose amputated right hand was replaced with a prosthetic knife. Modern scientists believe the man looked something like this. And another famous example is this 15th century German knight who rocked this bad boy into battle. And apparently this guy's name is also associated with the euphemism for, he can lick my ass. So if you ever see a man with an iron hand in public, I think it's safe to assume that he's insulting you so that you can respond accordingly. So this is starting to look like a respectable piece of automail, but it's still incredibly limited. It can't move on its own, and you likely have to move every finger manually just to get it to grip anything. Around the 16th century, people discovered that your arms and legs could be used for more than just murdering one's neighbors. So here we start to see the first purely functional prosthetics emerge for people that are leaving the battlefield.
What do you mean you want a new arm and you're not going to use it to kill people? Lick my ass!
And following the devastation of the American Civil War and the record number of amputees that it created, the number of patents for prosthetics nearly quadrupled because people were tired of walking around with hooks and peg legs. I wouldn't want to look like a Party City pirate either. Around this time, prosthetics became much more comfortable to wear and much more functional with many different articulating joints, but they still looked like this. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to fight chimeras with that thing. But what about today's prosthetics? Now that's what I'm talking about. Today's prosthetics would make amputees from just a few decades ago shit their pants. First of all, these things are much more comfortable to wear, and they make use of lighter, more durable materials like plastic, aluminum, titanium, and vibranium. But it's not just better materials. Today's prosthetics make use of 3D printing, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and motion sensing technologies. People are even having bionic limbs fused into their bones themselves. You might have seen videos like this, where the person seems to be straight up willing the artificial limb to move. These prosthetics can use biosensors to detect signals from the user's muscles and then use those signals to move their prosthetics more freely. For example, this person still has all the muscles in their forearm that could signal to the prosthetic what they intend to do with their hand. But what about a full-on robot arm, not some small Weenie Hut Jr. robot hand? For full-arm amputees, the muscle of the arm may be gone, but the nerves that would deliver the brain signals to them still exist, they've just been cut short. So these clever scientists or doctors or whoever they are have managed to develop a technique in which the nerves which previously controlled the muscles on the amputated limb are surgically rerouted to a different part of the body. So now when a patient thinks about moving the thumb of their missing hand, muscles in the new area contract instead. And then these movements get picked up by the sensors. Something about surgically moving nerves just gives me the heebie-jeebies. So are we at the point now where we can just surgically put nerves wherever we want like it's no big deal? And imagine in a few decades when we have AI-controlled surgery robots. Like this just opens the door for a whole new level of medical fuckery.
Peter fell asleep first at the sleepover, so we had the medbot surgically fuse his face and dick nerves, so now whenever he pops a stiffy, his face gets all weird. Look!
All right, class, open up your textbooks. Today's prosthetics kick ass. And with advanced brain-computer interfaces just right around the corner, the amount of freedom that you're gonna have with an artificial limb, it's just gonna be that of a regular limb. So these new robot prosthetics might look really cool, but are they really that durable? Are they tough? Like, I wouldn't be able to fight a chimera in one of those things, right? Alright, so we're going for it. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment below which limb you want me to amputate next.
Oh, you picked the wrong day to come online and mess with Cyborg.